abortion, but I would never hate a woman. And you know what God says? Even if it is a sin, you're to love that person and speak in truth and love. And be there for them and support them, not condemn them and make them feel guilty.
Well, love is warning them about what God says and saying, hey, if you rebel against God, there's going to be punishment for your sin. So you should love them.
It's not just one in here and there.
What was that?
Like Jesus died on the cross for all sins. So
no, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Not for everybody. He didn't die for everybody.
Who didn't he die for?
Well, there's not everybody is part of the elect people of God. He died for the chosen people.
Are you talking about the 144,000?
I'm talking about everybody who's been born again. Everybody who's born again, who's going to be born again, whose God has decided to save. He died for their sins. You acknowledge that some people are going to go to hell?
Yeah.
Okay, so if Jesus died for their sin, why would they go to hell? If he died for their sin, everybody would go to heaven. If he died for everybody's sin, then everybody would go to heaven. But it's obvious that not everybody goes to heaven, right? What?
We don't have a hateful God, and I have read on different teachings where even people that do go to hell, that hell isn't forever.
Well, it is forever. It's very clear in the Bible that it is.
Is that very clear?
It is very clear. Abundantly clear.
Where's Abraham's breast? Where do you go when you
know that your Bible's right because God told you so, and the Holy Spirit's in you?
My life has been changed by the Holy Spirit, and I put my faith in the biblical worldview. Yeah.
I just can't imagine you look around at all these people and just say they're all wrong.
Yeah, you know what? At least you have, I guess.
Well, they are. I have to acknowledge the truth. Like, two different conflicting ideas can't be true at the same time. That would violate the logical law of non-contradiction.
Truth or faith?
Well, you can't know truth unless you have faith. Knowledge requires faith.
Faith isn't believing in something that's true. Faith is believing in something you don't necessarily know is true.
Well, no. Faith is putting your belief in something.
Yeah, belief.
Yeah, you're believing in something. Like, the word confidence comes from the roots confide, with faith. When you're putting your confidence in something, you're putting your faith in it.
Sure. And
yeah.
I have confidence it's going to rain tomorrow. It doesn't mean 100% I know for a fact it's going to rain.
Right. You're putting faith in it.
Right, not fact.
But I'm saying,
which is why
you should. We can be assured when we put our faith in what God says, when we believe what He says, when we think it's true. That's what faith is.
Yeah,
and so we're mentally assenting to the truth of it. That's what faith is.
And you won't acknowledge that there's a slim fact that what I think is true, if it's different from yours.
Like it's a possibility.
Well, it's not a possibility because if the biblical worldview wasn't true, I wouldn't be able to know anything. I wouldn't have revelation from the all-knowing being, and I could always be wrong. And maybe this is a giant illusion.
It might be.
Well, it's not, because we couldn't know anything. We couldn't communicate. We have to put our faith in the fact that it's not to even communicate with each other. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if this is all a giant illusion, you're denying that practically by trying to communicate with me, right? You're putting your faith in the fact that I exist when you speak those words to me, and you're denying with that faith that we are in some kind of illusion and that I don't exist. So everything is operating on faith. Everybody's operating on faith.
Sure.
Yeah.
Including you, including me.
Right. So the question is, what are you putting your faith in? I'm putting my faith in revelation from an all-knowing being. You're putting your faith in revelation from a being who doesn't have all knowledge, yourself.
You don't know.
So that's the difference.
I was joking when I said this lady and her. You don't know who I put my faith in, but mine could be right.
Well, what do you put your faith in? What God do you believe in?
Does it matter?
Why does it matter though? Because your God exists and is right and mine doesn't. You don't even know.
Well, it does matter if I want to show you why your worldview doesn't make sense of reality.
This does not convince me that I want to be any part of what your God believes in. I don't want to be any part of anything, any religion.
Because the Holy Spirit doesn't live inside of you. Well, no, it's not hateful to speak up for babies and tell people what God says so that they don't end up in hell.
It says God hates people.
Yeah.
I don't want any part of
yeah, that is sometimes a rebuke is a good way to love somebody. Sometimes showing people the hard truth is a good way to love somebody, to wake them up.
I don't want to be a part of a religion that has anything to do with this.
Well, that's because you're not born again. You don't have the Holy Spirit. You're spiritually dead, and you hate God.